Welcome to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse?
With your host, Louisa Barton.
I want to be a famous rider. I should like to race.
Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
Truth is, I help horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton.
Yeah, baby.
The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honouring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor. Welcome to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton, your host. In the studio with my co-host Jody Everton from the Ocala Stirrups program at Chestnut Hill Arabians. Lovely to have you back, Jody.
Thank you, Louisa. Always a pleasure to be here with you.
I love her in that colour. It makes me think, because we're similar colouring, I should wear more of that.
Maybe.
Hot pink.
I like it.
Going to start off with some announcements and some news, and we've got some great guests for you, and later on Jodie's going to tell us a little bit about the Ocala Stirrups program and share some wonderful photos and videos with us from Chestnut Hills. Going to start out with the summit. The summit is coming up in November on the 23rd at the Ocala Breeder Sales building. Absolutely wonderful group. Horse Farms Forever are putting this together to really get across the point of the importance of Marion County and our culture here in the farm and the farms and preserving it. And of course the owner of Bridlewood will be there. He owns more privately owned land in the United States of America than anybody else. And Kevin Sheely from the CEP, where we are at the CEP studios, will also be a speaker, balancing industry and growth, and at the same time preserving our very important $2.6 billion industry. Stirrups and Strides has got an event coming up on December the 4th. Pretty exciting. The Wild West Murder Mystery. Should be a lot of fun. They're going to hang the banker.
Yes.
And not really. But that's part of it, with a silent auction, dinner buffet, $75 a person. You can also be a sponsor and get tables. Stirrups and Strides, of course, is an absolutely wonderful organisation that helps disabled, both mentally and physically, both adults and children and veterans. A wonderful program. Love that this is a great fun way to support
and a clever way to raise some money.
Clever, yes.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Absolutely phenomenal. Want to welcome a new sponsor on board of the show. I'm actually very excited to welcome Lip Chip LLC. Very, very fantastic, phenomenal product they have. Going to be sharing some videos with you and some promos, learning about this product and the application that actually comes with this product, and the integrity and transparency of this program is incredible in the horse world, especially in the horse sport world and the show world. So real excited. I'm excited to get my horses lip chipped. And be able to keep up with everything on the app as well for my horses. So really wonderful, really excited to welcome them. Jessica Cummings and I have been communicating back and forth. Jessica, well done. I'm really excited about this, and as this rolls out, helping you to get this into the horse world and out and into all the right hands and all the different breeds and disciplines that we actually cover on this show.
Yes, I think there's going to be a lot of interest in that.
I know the Arabian world
For
probably
sure.
we jump right on board.
Yeah, for sure.
So very, very excited to welcome them. Going to switch it up to talk about Medina Spirit. Congratulations to Gail Rice, the local breeder here, just up the road from me and a dear friend of mine. And there is Medina Spirit with Gail Rice and I. Of course, he won the Kentucky Derby this year and is eligible for the Breeders' Cup from his win and you're in from this past weekend at Santa Anita. We're thrilled to congratulate him on that win. A reminder about the Breeders' Cup, which of course is coming up very soon in November. We have got some wonderful sponsors on board so that we can cover the Ocala Marion County connections, which are many, by the way. Thank you to Brock Sheridan from the FTBOA from helping me with my homework that I was studying very busily. We've got like a page and a half here of Ocala Marion County connections to the Breeders' Cup that we'll be chasing around for you and interviewing and kind of finding out the background on many of these horses. And Next Go, who was trained by my friends the Demericks, is an absolutely brilliant horse, and you should be watching out for Next Go because we might see him show up and win the Classic, which would be very cool. If him and Medina Spirit were like neck and neck at the end, it would be pretty exciting stuff.
That would be cool.
So please be following that coverage, and thank you to our sponsors, and we'll make sure that special broadcast airs on Breeders' Cup Saturday for you so that you can kind of watch those Marion County connections as they run in the richest weekend in horse racing. It's like $30 million or something in all the races.
The big money.
Well, and you know what's cool about it is in the Breeders' Cup juvenile races, you get to kind of eye up who might be the Derby winner at that point because those are going to be 3, and you get to see them progressing and think, oh, that might be the Derby winner.
That's right.
So, yeah, very exciting stuff. Piranha. Got to mention Piranha. Who loves their donkey? Can you comment if you have a donkey? Do you have a donkey? If you don't have a donkey, maybe you need a donkey. I don't know. My neighbours aren't quite sure what's going on because I got a donkey this week, and my neighbour's like, what's that noise? And I was like, payback for your rooster that wakes me up at 5 a.m., by the way. But who loves their donkey and why? So share that with us. We'd love to hear from you. You can message or comment below. Why you love your donkey? Maybe how old is your donkey? What do you do with your donkey? Does your donkey learn any tricks? My donkey is going to learn tricks because she's naughty. And
so she needs something to do.
Yeah, so she needs a job. So I'm going to teach her to pull a cart or do circus tricks or lie down and roll over or something to keep her busy because right now she's naughty, but she's so cute.
Oh, I bet.
We'll share some photos with you later. A bit of news. Olympic show jumping champions Eric Lamaze and Hickstead have been inducted into Canada's Sports Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Yes, they were actually going to be inducted last year, but it was deferred because of the COVID-19 pandemic. How many things were deferred because of COVID?
A lot of life was deferred.
A lot. Hickstead was actually awarded the title of Best Horse in the 2010 World Championships in Lexington, Kentucky. They also won Team Silver and individual bronze medals at the 2007 Pan American Games in Rio de Janeiro, as well as several major Grand Prix titles. So really cool. Definitely a worthwhile team. Should definitely get that award. Kevin Babington, I know many of you have followed Kevin for years, show jumper. Irish show jumper. I actually got to meet him, I think at Hits twice, and interviewed him a couple times. Great guy. Very sadly, you probably remember he was left paralyzed in 2019 at the Hampton Classic, which was very sad, and they actually said that he would never walk again. He was paralyzed from the chest down. But he has been so determined, like Kevin Babington. He's always determined when he was competing, and still very determined, an Olympic veteran and a team gold medalist in the 2001 European Championships, and suffered this terrible injury and has been courageous and very patient with this situation. And you can actually go online and see where they have him in this walking machine, which is really a miracle to see. But apparently he is now moving all of his toes on each foot.
It's a big deal.
Independently.
It's awesome.
And as of right now has flexion in his feet, which is amazing. So they say we're all going to look forward to the day that he stands to deliver the Leading Rider Award at Silver Oak. So
cool.
Our prayers and thoughts, absolutely go out to Kevin Babington and all those that have been working with him to get him to, the point that he can do this. But I mean, I would say, wow, that is a miracle.
That's a big deal.
It really is. It's huge, and actually gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Pimples, as we call them in England. So for the rest of the show, in the next segment, of course, we always have the veterinarian segment for you, and we have Dr. Adam Cayot joining us, and he's going to talk about cloning me. I wish that he would clone me.
With you.
Do we?
We do.
That's a scary
Yes,
thought.
We need more Louisa for sure.
More Louisa,
for sure.
I would love to have a clone, actually. We were just talking about that
That's
before
right.
the show, weren't
That's
we?
right.
So we're going to talk about cloning horses, advantages, disadvantages. Then we're going to have a couple of segments with Ken McNabb Horsemanship. Excited to have him on. And then Jody's going to share with us the Ocala Stirrups program, and maybe we'll find some bloopers from Epic or something fun for the end and show you some donkey pictures. So stay with us on the Horse Talk Show. We'll be right back with Dr. Adam Cayot.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now, or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the second segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. I'm Louise Barton in the studio with my co-host Jody Everton from the Ocala Stirrups program at Chestnut Hill Arabians. Joining us by phone, we have our regular veterinarian, Dr. Adam Cayot, joining us. How are you, Dr. Cayot?
I'm well.
Good.
Well, thank you for having me.
Good. Well, welcome back to the show. We're going to talk a little bit about cloning. It's kind of an interesting topic. We mentioned it a little bit last week. The first equine clone was apparently born in 2003, which I was quite surprised is actually quite a long time ago. I didn't realize they were cloning them that soon. But talk to us a little bit, Dr. Cayot, about the process, first of all, like how do you clone a horse? And then let's go over to like the success of it.
Well, it's obviously I'm gonna simple it down here a little bit. It's obviously a very complicated procedure.
Right.
Basically what happens is the DNA, the chromosomes, are removed from the oocytes, so the egg of the mare, and the DNA from the horse that you want cloned is then injected into the oocyte of the mare. And so you have a genetic match of that horse that you extracted the DNA from. Now, that's a really simple thing. Obviously, it's very complicated, and but that's the gist of it. They take the DNA that's already there in the oocyte, remove that, and put the genetic genome of the horse that you want cloned back in the oocyte. Then they take that oocyte and they plant it in a recipient mare in the hopes that she maintains pregnancy, and then you have a horse that is a clone. Now, before everybody gets their thoughts of, oh, I'm going to clone Secretariat, or I'm going to clone, Pioneer of the Nile, or whoever, that's not the case generally, because horses that are amazing performers, there's so many external factors that come into their development, that cloning is basically and should be basically used to preserve genetic makeup. So if you have a horse that is a particularly special horse that you think that you like their attitude, that sort of thing, and for whatever reason maybe they are infertile, or they can't carry a foal, or they can't they can't pass their genetic material for whatever reason, that would be a horse that you may consider doing that for. It's really not to be used for performance. The other thing that's interesting is breed registries do not register cloned animals. So American Quarter Horse Association, if you have a cloned horse, you can't register that horse. Jockey Club, of course, you can't register the horse in the Jockey Club. You can use cloned horses in, hunter jumper competitions, reining horse competitions and that sort of thing. But those horses just can't be registered with their particular breed.
Wow. I wonder if that'll ever change. It'd be interesting.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that'll change or not. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know. The AEP put out, there was an article put out in 2006, the cost of cloning. You better really like your horse.
Yeah.
$150,000 to $350,000.
Yeah. It's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. Especially for a horse you can't register, and you can't race, and you can't compete. Yeah.
And the other interesting point is what if that horse that you clone is a dud? Okay,
Yeah.
so
it's a lot of money.
then you spend that money. That horse is a dud. Not only is it you spend that money, but it lessens the genetic value of the horse that it was taken from.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so
interesting point.
It gets that's why I think the breed registries are going to be real careful with that, because like I said before, just because you clone Secretariat doesn't mean you're going to have a Triple Crown winner.
No, that's true. Yeah.
And, just because there's so many external factors that come into play. Does that horse get injured? What happens in utero? How many endless things that could, affect this horse over time. So
true. Now, what about like abnormalities? Have there been many cases of abnormalities in cloned horses, or has that not really been an issue?
Actually, well, okay, so no, it's not really an issue. The horses that have been cloned, it's actually been pretty successful, meaning that those horses that have been cloned actually have shown to have less problems on average than horses that are conceived naturally and come about that way. Foals. Now, the danger that you run there is obviously, if you're using the same genetic material, then you have a more likely chance of bad things coming out of that genetic expression. That because you don't have the hybrid vigor or the gene mixing. So it's not necessarily inbreeding, but you have more of a chance of recessive genes being expressed.
I hadn't thought of that. Very interesting.
So, it's kind of interesting. Certainly everybody, well, maybe not everybody, but I certainly remember Dolly, the first sheep that was cloned. And she was the first one that was cloned. Right. And it might have been done in the UK.
I think it was. I think so. I think I remember
mistaken.
That. Yes.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. It would be interesting to see how it would affect like production animals, like animals that are used for food and that sort of thing, and how you might be able to get a growthier cow or a steer that produces more beef or whatever. That would be kind of interesting to see how that would come out. But obviously, at $150,000, $350, your steaks are going to be really expensive.
Yeah, that's going to be some expensive steak. You're quite right. Yeah. Might be out of our budget. I think. Yeah. Yes, certainly. So, have you actually come across many cloned horses in your career?
Not that I have any knowledge of. I don't think I've seen. I don't think I've seen one cloned horse. No. Honestly.
Well, and this article talks a lot about them at universities, Texas A&M.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of
studying it. Yeah.
It's kind of a laboratory kind of thing. So.
Yeah. I wonder if it would be very interesting to see how similar in personality a horse is when it's cloned, like when it's grown, is it really like the horse that it came from? How much of it is?
That is one of the things that they talk about that actually is more, in the genetic makeup is their kind of mentality, their attitude, that sort of thing, tends to be something that is passed more in a clone as opposed to performance.
Interesting. Very interesting. Dr. Cayot, thank you so much. We're at the end of this segment. I still wish you could clone me.
That's what we need. You probably like that because then you can have two of you doing more stuff.
I know. That's exactly why.
It would lighten your load,
I know.
You'd have your stand-in.
Get her a day off here and there.
That's what I'm thinking. Dr. Cayot, have a great week. Thanks for being with us on the show.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a few minutes with Ken McNabb. Stay with us on the Horse Talk Show. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and Larson Hay, our broadcast and television sponsor, plus supporting sponsors, DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Piranha, TT Distributors, and the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Louisville.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I really can't.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
We're going to be here all night.
Okay, I'm going to be serious. Welcome back to the third segment of the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. We are in the CEP Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital of the world. I'm Louisa Barton, host and executive producer. And with me I have my friend Jody Everton, who is one of the trainers and coaches at the Ocala Stirrups program at Chestnut Hill Arabians. A beautiful, wonderful farm, great facility, very professional. Let's talk a little bit about being a school teacher and how that kind of really works well with transitioning to being an instructor in a riding program. You were a teacher for 16 years. We talked about maybe you weren't that organized.
I was not organized. I had really good co-teachers around me that were very organized, and they just indulged me. You know, I would do silly
You're
things.
enthusiastic.
I did. I loved to teach social studies. So I did a lot of dressing up and just all kinds of crazy things.
Dressing up. We need
Anything
to do
you
that
can
for
do.
Halloween, by the way, what should I be?
Oh, yeah, send me. Put your comments down below.
Yes.
What you'd like Louisa to dress up as.
It should be something from the same.
Okay. All right, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
We'll take suggestions, though.
Yes, we will take suggestions. School teacher.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, you can be a school teacher.
Yeah, I can just open the closet. I won't have to go buy anything.
You be a school teacher and I'll be a naughty student.
Oh, boy. Well, there you go.
I
That's
got
an
the
option.
costume already. Oh, never mind.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so back to being a school teacher.
Yes.
So I think one of the things that when you're a teacher, you realize, and this is something I think sometimes as horse trainers we forget, is when you work with a group of teachers at a school, you're not competitive with them. Everybody's just trying to support each other. So we spent a lot of time in each other's classrooms and planning together, which was very helpful. And that kind of feels like what we're doing at Chestnut Hill Arabians as well, where you have a group of like-minded people that are there just to support each other and try to get the best out of each other. So when you're not stressing and worrying about things, that's what I feel like when you can do your best work, And fortunately at the farm, for me anyway, other people have more stressful jobs there than I do, but my job is the teaching. So I have a lot of opportunities to get to know the people, find out what their fears are, maybe what's holding them back, from getting into riding again, and getting to know the horses and finding the right horse and rider combination, because really building that confidence in a rider takes a very long time, and it's easy to demolish it. One rough lesson and it's just very easy to demolish that confidence that gets built up.
When I was learning to ride, I had some very harsh riding instructors, and honestly, had I not loved four-leggeds, had I not loved horses so much and been so determined, honestly, it would have put me off.
Yeah,
because I had some that were tough.
Yeah,
they were hard on you.
I feel like in my own riding career, in my own teaching career, there have been times when I was just too focused on my personal goals and not focused enough on the rider's goals. So I try I'm a little older now, so I'm a little wiser, hopefully. So I try really hard to do that. I try a little bit more to really listen to what they're telling me, not me just picking out the things that I want to hear. I think that's important as a teacher. And I also, as a teacher, I try to put myself in situations that I'm uncomfortable in. I try and make myself do new things to remember how that feels, because I tell you, we had an older couple out just the other day that are very new to the horses, and they were kind of apologizing for what they didn't know and thanking me for being so patient. And I said, you are way out of your wheelhouse right now, and I think that takes a lot of guts and a lot of courage. So you're going to get a lot of patience from me just on coming, and I think that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that, and I think your empathy, understanding, and
it's
being
important.
able to relate to people makes such a huge difference
Yeah.
to newcomers. So I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
And I love the Ocala Stirrups program. So
Thank you.
I'm real happy
Thank
that you're
you.
here in our community.
Thank you. I'm really having a great time, and it's just such a blessing to be with somebody who we've, Joe and I have been friends for a very long time. So we have that, just love and respect to kind of build something with. So it's been going very well. We've been really excited. Yeah.
There you go. Tell us a little bit, Jody, about Ocala Stirrups and a little bit about what you do. I have seen and had the pleasure of seeing some of your young folks out there riding when I've been out visiting.
Yep, we're doing a lot of riding, I can tell you that.
I know it, right? So you must start early.
Yeah, we do. We start with the training horses. That's kind of the beginning of the day. Usually I start lessons like around 11. And really, Joe and I have had just a very long, very close friendship for about 20 years. And when we started talking about doing a program down here, I wasn't really convinced that Ocala really had a place for another riding instructor because, you're the horse capital. I figured this was a very well-established place for horse trainers. But there really is fewer programs than you might think for beginners or for just casual riders. And what we're finding through Ocala Stirrups, which has really become kind of an outreach, we're finding a lot of people, adults who were riders at one point and then stopped and really hadn't found a place they were comfortable with. and then a lot of brand new people who are finding us, through Facebook, and we started a Groupon campaign, which has been very successful.
Groupon's great.
Groupon is great because it opens the doors
yes,
for a lot of people who might not give it a try.
I can save a bit of money. I can book it through here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just like anything else. It can be kind of an intimidating process. And so we get a lot of people, especially the adults, they're a little nervous and they want to explain to me, the horse background they have. They want to talk about what they want to do. And then through the course of riding, sometimes their goals change. They do definitely develop a lot of confidence. And I feel like if I were to pick one thing, I think I'm very good at creating a confident rider. One that can handle a lot of different situations. I try to be very creative in our arena lessons. We try to do a little bit out of the arena. That's some shots of Colby and Farrell. These are my cousins. Right when I first came to Ocala, my cousins from Sarasota came to visit. So that's them there at the farm. And yeah, it's just, it's a very professional farm. It's a very friendly place to come. So I feel like that is a big need.
It is friendly.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's just a happy place to be. Yeah. The horses are happy, the people are happy to be there, and everybody feels good. I love this picture with the little girl peeking under that mare's neck. I just thought that was so cute, her and her brother.
So sweet.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that's so amazing is the fact that the horses are all so amenable, so friendly, and so they make people not feel intimidated. They do their little chitter-chatter that we talk about, the Arabians and their little chitter-chatter, and they're friendly when you go to the stall, and they're happy to see you. And I think that makes it much less intimidating for little kids, especially.
I do too.
And for, like you mentioned, so a lot of older women who've stopped riding, they had their kids, then they're coming back to riding, and they're a little bit intimidated because they haven't been around horses. Maybe they're empty nesters. The kids have gone on to college and they're like, I really want my horse riding fun back.
Yes.
But they don't know where to begin. They know so much has changed. There's all these new things, and new ideas, and new ways of training, and they feel a little lost.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you're right. I mean, they're concerned, of course, about their safety. When we grow up, we realize we don't bounce as well as we do when we're children. And so that fear can keep you from coming back to it, but we've got a variety of very well-trained horses, and the other thing is it's a very controlled environment. I do a lot on the lunge line. We're doing all private lessons right now. So you really develop a great relationship with the people, and then the people get very comfortable with horses. And that's what you need. They need to be comfortable on the ground with them, so we do a lot of groundwork, a lot of I had a lady that's been riding for a very long time. She's a Western rider. She really wants to learn English. I've had her on a lunge line without her reins and without her stirrups. So it's a lot of kind of reteaching. Going back, there's Dr. Phillip. The chiropractor from is it Synchrony?
Synchrony, yeah.
Synchrony, thank you. Yeah. So look at him working. He's working on his little lips without his stirrups. I know, and he's really not been riding a very long time. He's just really done a great job. Now this is a perfect example. This is somebody who just really wants to understand about how the horse works, be in the horse industry.
Hold that thought.
Yes,
we got to go to break. Halfway through the show here. We're going to try and get Ken McNabb back for you, but if we can't, I've got more questions for Jody anyway. So,
all right, good.
Stay with us. We'll be right back on the Horse Talk Show. We will.
Or maybe we'll just stay here.
Equestrians, it's time to take care of yourself as well as you do your horse. So get down to Pulse Center of Ocala. The PEMF wave is safe, and it's a therapy that charges your cells and allows them to function at their fullest capacity, so you heal much faster. Check them out at pulsecenterfl.com now and tell them you heard about it on the Horse Talk Show for a free demo. The Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honoring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
What does it feel like to be in love with a horse?
Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience.
Back in the saddle again.
Now, here's your pretty Louisa Barton.
You're fab. You're switched on. You're a bit of all right. Yes. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Welcome back to the second half of the Horse Talk Show presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton in the studio with my co-host Jody Everton from the Ocala Stirrups program at Chestnut Hill Arabians. Jody, second half of the show. We're going to give Ken McNabb horsemanship another shot. We did actually test this a couple of hours before the show, and it was working. And the link was good and the Wi-Fi was good. So we're going to try and get him again. And no hope of getting Ken McNabb.
Ken, we're trying.
So let's talk about him behind his back.
Let's do that.
We've got a few videos,
okay,
and then we'll come back to Jody in the next segment and talk some more about their program at Chestnut Hills. We're going to share some footage that we have from Ken McNabb. He's actually a Piranha endorsee. Which is great. Piranha shares a lot of his information on social media, and we've got some videos and training videos and riding videos from Ken. But one of the things, of course, that I found fascinating was he actually started training horses for people before he was even 15, which I thought was really cool. He began training neighbors' horses. That's kind of how he got his start. And then he actually apprenticed himself to Colorado Master John Lyons at that young age.
And I bet that was very exciting.
Can you imagine that experience?
Yeah.
I mean, John Lyons.
When I was like 18, I dragged a friend of mine to a John Lyons clinic, and it really opened my mind to a lot of things.
It's really amazing. What a mentor.
To me is really the original. Kind of the on-the-road horseman.
Yeah, he really is. And him and, another guy I've always really liked is Chris Cox. There's another guy I've always followed and really liked and enjoyed. But anyway, he spent countless hours in the saddle at horsemanship clinics and teaching participants in regional expos, and really got a young start. And now appears weekly on the RFD satellite channel with his show, Discovering the Horseman Within, which I like that. That's, I think, a great name for a show.
Yep. And it sounds like he is a teacher, somebody who wants to encourage this in other people. So that's wonderful.
He really is. And
we need more of that.
I agree. And I see a lot of his methods. He's very gentle. And that release, that release he gives the horse when the horse does the right thing. And the photos, if you're listening on the radio, you can actually find us on Facebook at the Horse Talk Show, and you can enjoy some of these photos and videos.
Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't that beautiful that we have of Ken McNabb, and clearly loves working with these horses. He's actually been in prominent horse starting competitions like the 2008 Road to the Horse, wins at the 2007 Colt Starting Challenge at the main event in Washington, and 2008 Trainers Challenge Colt Starting Competition in BC, Canada. In March, Ken made a second appearance in the prestigious Road to the Horse event in Tennessee and scheduled again. And actually, if you don't know Ken already, oh my God, the scenery there. I'm like, I want to go riding.
Yeah.
You can actually learn more about him at kenmcnabb.com, and you can actually learn all about some of the things he does. But this right here, look at bringing this horse down that. Talk about sure-footed.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh.
Ken, more power to you.
I know. That is a sure-footed horse.
Gee whiz.
That makes me think of the mules that go down the Grand Canyon and how sure-footed they are. Look how sure-footed this horse is.
Well, that requires a lot of trust in that animal.
I know, right? A lot of good riding there.
Yeah.
But a couple of points that actually Piranha shared on social media, ways to communicate with your horse. And one of the things is the most important way to communicate with your horse is actually think about the scenario from his viewpoint. So how many people actually think about the scenario from your horse's viewpoint? Do you ever think, how does the horse feel about things, look at things, experience things? And actually, if you're watching this on Equus Television or on Facebook, you can see Ken riding between these these tires here with this horse, and also working some cattle there. And the first time a horse sees a cow is kind of a interesting experience.
Yes.
Some don't like them.
Correct.
Some really don't like pigs, by the way. If you see wild pigs on the trail, that's that's quite something. Number 2 is ask yourself, what does my horse get out of this? What's in it for him? Why should he perform? The answer to that question is release, which I was working with the donkey the other night, and that was what I was working with, was like, okay, when you do right, release. The third thing to focus on is finding the release. Look for the release. Don't look for a way to correct your horse. Look for a way to tell him how good he's doing. So how do you reward him? How do you let him know that he's doing what he's supposed to be doing? Persistent. Persistency plus consistency equals productivity. And how true is that?
For sure.
Because if you're not consistent and persistent with your horse, you're not going to get those results.
No, it takes a lot of time.
It does. It can be very time consuming, and that probably applies to the donkey too, right?
Yes.
I'm going to have to be consistent with the mini donkey. Be consistent. If the answer to the question keeps changing, the horse can never get it right. Be willing to wait. Don't stop and start over. Be willing to wait. So stopping and starting over is...
Yes.
So all great points there. We got those off the information on social media that Piranha shared. That's how I knew he was a Piranha endorsee. And if we could have got him on the line, I was going to ask him how Piranha affects his program. How does Piranha affect your program?
Oh,
Keeps
we
the
love
flies
our
away,
Piranha.
right?
Yes, it sure does. Because I'll tell you, that is something they are really irritated by. I was just giving a lesson today, and the horse was going around doinking her head all over the place. I mean, put a little spray on her head, and she was just good to go. Just settles them right down.
And if you do have a problem horse or a young horse that you're starting, you kind of want to get rid of all the things that could be a problem.
The excuses, yes.
Exactly. You want to take those out. So,
for sure.
So having good fly spray in Florida, very important.
Yeah, plus you just don't want them annoyed. No, you want them focused and you want them settled.
That's very
You
distracting.
don't want them fired up.
Yeah, think about
flies.
you when you're at an event and it comes evening and the mosquitoes or the bugs start and you're
I
like...
can't listen.
No,
I don't, and I certainly don't want to do the right thing. I just want to be annoyed.
Yes, you want to be annoyed and you don't focus very well. So all really good points there. And that was the reason actually we invited him to be on the show, because I saw that he was involved in that. And they do a number of things. They have the Diamond McNabb partnership where they actually joined together with another family, and after their second horse clinic together, they went into the Beartooth Mountains for a week of high country packing, fishing, and horse training tips. I'm in.
Oh, I think people would really be excited about that.
Oh my gosh, yes. So they've really come a long way, and of course there's online horsemanship training videos that you can get for and you can join their private Facebook group. They have weekly training Zoom calls. And they have online training to help you support your horsemanship needs. So all good stuff to know. And Ken, I wish we could have got you on the show.
Sorry,
but
Ken.
Yeah, maybe we can get you to Ocala and get you in here in the studio. And technology is always a fun thing.
Yeah. And if you've never done anything like this before, this is probably the person you should check out, because I don't think there's a person in the world that can't learn something from this mentality.
I know. I agree.
And I think just changing your thought process when you can is a good one.
I think it's very important. And, one of the things that I think is if you lined up 10 really good horsemanship trainers, you could actually learn something.
For sure.
Even if they have slightly differing outlooks and views, you could probably take a little bit from each one of those 10 people and apply it and learn something. And, you're not necessarily going to agree with everything everybody says. You might be, I don't want to do things that way. That's okay, but you can still learn a lot from people who've been in the horse world for a long time.
For sure.
We just got the 1 minute. So unfortunately, we didn't bring you Ken McNabb tonight, but we'd certainly like to give it a try in the future. And we're going to come right back. And I've got some questions for Jody about horsemanship at Chestnut Hills and lessons and matching horses with people. Think about that during the break. And we'll be right back.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet, and our broadcast and television sponsor, Larson Hay, and also to our supporting sponsors, Equisafe, Nirvana Medical Spa, Showcase Properties of Central Florida, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, and Summit Joint Performance.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and services hassle-free and easier than ever, with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy. Find new roads.
Current equine microchips can migrate by up to 30%, causing difficulty when scanning. With over 70 years of collective horse industry experience, LipChip offers a new, more effective method of microchipping, partnering with veterinarians and technology experts to ensure humane and practical microchipping. LipChip was built by horsemen for horsemen. Nowadays, the performance horse industry is in need of both integrity and transparency. LipChip is the future of horse microchipping, with cutting-edge technology functional for every discipline. Find LipChip on social media, and for more information, lipchipllc.com. The future is here. The future is LipChip.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton, your host, and in the studio with me, I have my co-host Jody Everton from the Ocala Stirrups program at Chestnut Hill Arabians. And by the way, Chestnut Hill Arabians is beautiful. It's convenient. It's right off Highway 200 in the Ocala Horse Complex. Mm-hmm. Actually, not far from Mark Cassie's farm.
That's right.
Beautiful. And Michelle Hemingway, I think, trains out there too.
I think you're right, yeah.
A lovely, lovely facility. Beautiful, easy to get to, easy to access, and extremely welcoming to the community. Mm-hmm. We've been talking to you a little bit about the program that they do there and welcomes all age groups. Is there a too young age?
You know, as far as taking lessons, really 6 is probably the youngest, but we've had younger than that, certainly, that we just put on, and we've got some little sisters and little brothers that like to ride after lesson. So in their mind, they're taking a lesson. Really, they're taking 2 laps around.
Around, yeah.
I just think when they're little, the sooner you get them on the horse, the better.
Exactly.
You know, and the more they do it, the better.
Yeah.
And I like them in the barn. Mm-hmm. You know, the more they're in the barn, I think it's good for them.
And one of the things that really impressed me when I came to the farm was you telling me kind of like how you go through the whole routine with somebody, from the care and the tacking and the riding and then the care. Share with me kind of the process of what somebody does when they come there for a lesson.
Well, my dad was a horse trainer, and I think my parents were very concerned. They had seen some of their friends and their children, and you know, it's very easy to become a very entitled horse brat, and I think they were very concerned that that's how we could potentially go if they didn't watch. And you know, they really wanted us to learn all of it, and we also found that we loved all of it. I mean, we love the riding and we love the showing, but I have 2 sisters, and it was very important to them that we were all very supportive of whose ever turn it was to show. So whose ever turn it was, you were all dressed up and you didn't really have to do much. The other sisters did the rest. So nice. I kind of liked that, you know, and they were also very good at really instilling a lot of pride in us on, you know, how well the horse was turned out. Boy, you really spent a lot of time cleaning your tack. Boy, your tack looks great. And so we got a lot of accolades for those things. So because that is how we learned, and it's also how Joe learned, you know, he had to do all that stuff himself. It's very important to us that we develop that kind of a rider, you know, not one that just shows up, sits on the horse and leaves.
Right.
One that really develops a relationship with them. And when you have young children and adults who are feeling some nerves, when you can get comfortable on the ground with them, it is easier to make that connection, I think, than when you start sitting on them.
That's true. Now, with let's say I'm a totally new rider, and I'm coming out to you to have my first lesson. Have you already evaluated me and decided which horse you're going to put me on over the phone? Or are you going to decide when I arrive and you kind of see how much experience I've had?
Yeah, I generally have an idea in my mind as soon as I talk to you on the phone, because we have a couple of different lesson horses we use, and the one, the starter mare, she's just very tolerant, very patient. She's very good with errors. She just kind of gets right on with it. And then some of them they're still good horses, but they're not that good with beginners. We're watching Colby on the video now, and Colby's obviously a very experienced rider. You can just see with the way she sits up there. And that's Pharaoh, who he's our poster boy at Chestnut Hill Arabians, and
yeah, he is.
It's just a beautiful horse, and she's a great example. You know, she's spent most of her life learning to ride and learning about horsemanship and competing, and then had a stretch where she was not riding. And has come back to it. But she, even though she has spent all this time learning to ride, she still spends a lot of time just coming and riding on her own, coming and riding in lessons,
really
coming and
love this
watching.
horse.
I know, isn't that nice? I just like seeing these out of the ring shots, you know, that we try to, there is a lot of structured work, but then there's also some, you know, just relaxing and enjoying them, which I think is an important part of it.
I think so too, because quite often you get riders and horses that get what I call arena bound.
For sure.
And I've actually taken some girls out on a trail ride who had never gone on one, but they were very experienced show riders.
Yes.
But they were terrified on the trail, and so were their horses.
Yep,
I was
and
like,
that can
what's
happen.
going on?
I
These
know.
people are top riders. So seeing you kind of just let them hack out and
Yeah, well, and you know,
relax
I can get caught in that too, where all I'm thinking about is horse show, but that's not the motivation of everybody that comes through the door. See, in my mind, I'm looking at them, what would they need to do to go win at the horse show next week?
right.
But I think taking some time, to hack and just be out
enjoy
on
and
them.
relax,
Yes,
and
just-
enjoy the horse.
Yep.
Because your horses are so, you and Joe, I mean, your farm, they're so personable.
They really are.
To
It's a
not
nice
have
breed.
a bond relationship and enjoy, to just be always focused on, you know, how do we win at the show?
Yeah, and you know, and I think that is also the appreciation of the horsemanship, not just the riding. You know, it really is the whole thing. And, you know, really encouraging people to spend time reading about horses, watching videos, you know.
Watching the show.
Watching our show.
Watching our show and learning.
But I said
Best Equine 101 in Florida.
For sure, for sure. But I send a lot of YouTube clips. You know, I video the riders a lot and send them their videos, and they like watching that. And they like seeing the progress. And yeah, it's just important to us that the horse culture is preserved. You know, I don't know that I would do very well with somebody who just was focused on the horse show. Although I love to compete and I love the horse show, it's such a bigger experience than that. And really developing that relationship with that horse is very important in your success in the horse show. And it just makes you appreciate it so much more when it happens. Makes you want to reflect when it doesn't happen. What can we do to make this happen next time? So I think all those things are important. And the other thing is really just developing a partnership with the different horses that you meet. You know, they're not disposable to us. We don't just use them up and toss them.
You can
know?
tell that.
Yeah, no. And that's the other...
I love the way you love your horses.
Yeah, and that's the other great thing about having a lesson program in the training barn is because we will get to a point where some of these show horses are not competing at the highest levels anymore and they need a different job, and then we'll move them into lesson programs.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Now, what percentage would you say, and you may not know this number off the top of your head, and if not, we can revisit it, but what percentage would you say end up either interested in competing or competing?
Yeah, I'd say about half. About half the
I was
people.
thinking.
Yeah. And one of the things we're going to be doing is we're working on a bunch of leases where we've got horses that are available for lease for people because horse ownership is a big commitment. So the beauty of the lease is it's confined to a specific amount of time. So maybe you'd lease for 3 or 4 months, and it would be a situation where you could come and ride on your own a little bit. You'd have this horse to take lessons on. You'd have something to show, and then I can also use it in the lesson program. So that works out really well.
That's perfect.
And another asset to the program, in addition to Joe, we have Stephanie Simonson, who's also a wonderful horse trainer, who's done a lot to school those lesson horses. Because when we first got them, they were not riding like that. So she's done a lot to teach them and has trained them in a way that young children are able to ride them, that older women are able to ride them. And I think that's a big deal. I really think that says a lot about her.
I'll tell you what, it does. And one of the things that amazes me about your program is the fact that you do put beginners up on these horses, young children and older ladies, but you also compete and win on these horses. And that blows my mind when I'm there. I'm always like, wow, that's that horse I just saw with his tail in the air and head up and all this, and then he's and down he comes.
And I also, when I'm meeting a horse, it doesn't matter what other people have told me about it. I need to experience that horse before I'm comfortable putting riders on him. And I have said to I said to a lady today who rode a new horse. We talked a lot about her, and I said, I think you'll get along very well with this horse, and here's why. Here's some of the problems we had been having. So I'm very upfront about it. We don't keep that to ourselves. We share all that information so that when some of these things come up, we can kind of address them. And for people to understand that, horses are like us. They're going to have good days. They're going to have days when they struggle, and to not take that personally. Every day's a new day, and we come back and we try it again tomorrow.
Bad days, and
that's right.
And overall, but I'll tell you, my days at Chestnut Hill Arabians have been absolutely incredible.
Mine too.
You can find out more information at chestnuthillarabians.com.
That's right.
I think that's the website. I think that's pretty easy to remember. chestnuthillarabians.com, and you can find out about the Ocala Stirrups program. Doesn't matter your age, young, old, older. Doesn't matter what level you're at. They're happy to welcome you. They're part of our community and really show you how incredible the horse world is, and especially those beautiful Arabians. We'll be back in just a minute with the last segment of the Horse Talk Show. Stay with us.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best, but we've all seen people with the telltale signs of too much work. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter and younger, with all the newest and best in technology and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter and younger you. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet, and our broadcast and television sponsor, Larson Hay, and also to our supporting sponsors, Equisafe, Nirvana Medical Spa, Showcase Properties of Central Florida, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, and Summit Joint Performance. World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Center Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Center now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system, powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the last segment on the Horse Talk Show this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa in the CEP studios in downtown Ocala, in the horse capital of the world. Shout out to the Chamber. We love having our equine studios here and being able to share with you so much that's going on in the horse world. Jody Everton, my co-host from the Ocala Stirrups program, Chestnut Hill Arabians. We've been talking a little bit about their program, sharing with you some of the experiences that you can have there right from a very, very beginner. Even if you've never been around horses, they'd love to help you get started. A quick mention again for the summit. Horse Farms Forever has their summit on November 23rd at Ocala Breeder Sales. That, of course, is super important because preserving the farmland in Marion County is just really key. It is part of our culture. It is a huge industry, probably close to $3 billion a year for us here. And that's a very, very important event. A couple of really good speakers, Mr. Malone, owner of Bridlewood, and Kevin Sheely, the CEO here at the CEP. We'll be sharing with you preservation of the farmlands, plus balancing industry jobs and growth with that, and keeping that farmland barrier there, that preservation area is so important.
And you know, for $15, you can watch this online. So if you can't make it for the full event, you know, you can certainly turn it online.
Absolutely. Or if you have, you know, COVID concerns, going to group events.
I mean, $15, you can just enjoy all the advantages of hearing all those speakers.
Good point. This is why I love having you as my co-host. You're so spot on all the time. A mention for the poker ride. we have Ride for the Cure. It is an annual event. It is the 2021 Alzheimer's fundraiser. It is coming right up, so October 9th at the Shangri-La Trailhead.
So that's a Saturday, right?
Yep, 12788 Southwest 69th Court, Ocala. And that is a poker ride. I can't say that with my British accent. Barbecue lunch, raffle, and silent auction. Camping is available Friday and Saturday nights. Campsites do need to be reserved in advance. You can call Marilee 561-723-3615 if you have questions. And the registration begins Saturday morning at 8:30, and it is a $30 fee. And that money goes to this really good cause, which is the Alzheimer's fundraiser. So if you can, join in. I think it'll be great fun. It usually is. I'm not quite back riding yet since I broke my neck, so I can't unfortunately do it this time, but I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Great weather for it, for sure.
Great weather. We're back to having our wonderful weather again, aren't we?
Yep.
I got to share my donkey with you. So earlier on in the first segment, we actually had a mention from Piranha there in the template of, do you have a donkey? And do you love your donkey and why? And is your donkey naughty like my donkey? You can comment below if you have a donkey. Mine makes some very interesting noises. This is her when she was a little bit littler than she is now. This is a few months back, but her name is Mary. I think Mary quite contrary.
Yeah, look at those ears.
Ears same length as her face.
Oh my gosh, she's cute.
They're big. She's quite something. This is her now.
She's grown up a lot.
Yeah, she has. She's quite something. She's cute and fun and funny. She got to meet the Mustangs through the fence, which was interesting. And of course, Flynn was trying to be her friend because Flynn wants to be friends with everyone. Look at her eyes.
Oh, she's cute.
Her eyes are beautiful. She's really quite something. So anyway, if anybody wants to come and help me donkey train, I've never trained a donkey. I'm hoping it's like training a horse.
I don't think it is.
No, I don't think so either. She's got kind of like a mind of her own.
Yeah.
So there's one of the
Mustangs.
There's one of the Mustangs coming up to talk to her. We have her in the round pen right now because we're like not wanting, obviously, anyone to get hurt. And I think it might be the Mustangs that take a whooping from this girl.
Oh, yeah. The little ones are always tough.
She's got quite a back end on her when she boots out.
Oh, my gosh.
But yeah, I got her from my friend Kimberly, who just really didn't have a lot of time to work with her and really wanted somebody to kind of give her a little bit of time and training. And so we're going to start working on that. So if you've got any donkey tips for me, I've never trained.
Call poor Louise.
Yeah, please message me or message me because, that's her with Mum and Dad.
Oh my God.
That's her when she was little, and that's Mum was a mini and Dad was a regular.
Oh my gosh.
Which is why she's kind of little. So she's got that mini in there. But look at that face. Can you believe it? If you're on the radio, I know you're wondering, well, what on earth? You got to go to Facebook or Equus Television, and you can check out Mary, quite contrary. So, yeah, definitely need some tips there on that. And to the Breeders' Cup. So I mentioned in the first segment that Brock Sheridan, who is a great support to the show and to the CEP, helps to keep me kind of in the know, and I'd been studying up a little bit, trying to find those Ocala Marion County connections. Thank you to the Equine, the CEP, Seminole Feed, Showcase Properties, Equus Television, and our presenting sponsor, Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, supporting us so that we can interview all of the people with these connections, and we've got a lot to interview. So just to talk about the Florida breds alone, we've got Medina Spirit, of course, Gail Rice delivered Medina Spirit. We've got Frenzy Fire, CZ Rocket, Golden Pal, Extravagant Kid, Collusion Illusion, and Papa Cap. I like that. Papa
I like
Cap.
that.
That's a good name.
Catchy.
Yes, those 7 are actual Florida breds that tentatively, at least, now of course these things could change over the course of the next few weeks due to illness, injury, those things that do happen. But so far, those are the horses that are actually Florida breds and then trained by Mark Cassie Grafton Street, Coinage, and Got Stormy. Yes, 2 in the juvenile turf and 1 in the mile. So Mark Cassie, of course, is our Ocala trainer. We love he's been here for 50.
His farm's right around the corner from Chesterfield Radiance.
And actually, these 3 horses will have trained there on that track.
Yeah, every time I see something on the track, I always I look at them, I think, boy, I wonder if that's the next big one.
I wonder if that's the next Derby winner, right?
You never know.
I know, it could be.
It's exciting.
And then there is a whole other, page and a half here of connections. OBS grads, there's a bunch.
It's awesome.
One of the horses that we're really keeping our eyes on very closely is Nixco. I mentioned Nixco before. The Demericks actually trained Nixco. Initial training was done here in Ocala, Marion County. So that's one that's kind of popular right there in the polls right now for the Breeders' Cup. So we're definitely going to be keeping our eyes on that one. And I spoke to Nick today, and Corniche, who was actually the OBS March sale topper this year. 1.5 million this horse sold for. And he said, watch out for Corniche in the juvenile.
Okay.
And, if this horse does really well, and who knows, maybe we'll see this horse in the Kentucky Derby.
So is the juvenile 2-year-olds?
Yes.
Okay.
So those are the youngest bunch. And the Breeders' Cup races actually help put us in a really good position to know who's going to be the 3-year-olds that are going to be
the ones to watch.
Now, of course, sometimes there are horses who get either they're too immature to run, or they haven't won a race, so they're not eligible to be in the Breeders' Cup.
Sure.
But they come into their own earlier in the year, and sometimes they end up being the horse that that wins the Kentucky Derby that maybe wasn't one of these.
That's right.
But quite often this is a good guide. And when Nick tells me he really likes a horse, I think, we just got the 1-minute sign. So that means we're at the end of the show. It flew by, as usual. I'm sorry we didn't get Ken McNabb for you, but I think we had covered a lot. And, of course, whether you are in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world, or not, happy horsing around till the same time next week.
Thank you.